No, I thought that if we get to the tournament, it's going to be different. When I say the tournament, I mean Evansville. I thought those were two wonderful prep games for us, okay? And it provided us with the necessary mindset to go out there to not let happen what happened in the preceding year. When we went out there and we lost to Wittenberg, we were all devastated.
Well, we knew what we did. We lost to Wittenberg the year before in the semifinals of the national championship. And we weren't ready for Wittenberg. They held the ball, and they're a team that would hold the ball for 2 to 3 minutes every possession. They would just dribble around, throw, and dribble, throw, and we weren't ready for that. You know, we were a running team, and we got caught up in that. And who do we open up with on the first game of the Nationals? Wittenberg. I thought to myself, oh my God, how's this happening? You know, but we had to contend with it.
They wanted them, and they thought that, you know, they could beat them. We knew we couldn't let them get a lead on us, and they didn't. They weren't nearly as good, the team. The personnel was not as good, with the one returning. A number of substitutes on that team were playing, but they were not nearly as good. In fact, it shouldn't have been that close, but they had won a whole bunch of games in a row that year.
Yeah.
They beat the #1 team in the country before that because they held the ball in one of the all-black schools. And,
that was a little more common without the shot clock than
Right.
anybody would ever see today.
but they took it to an extreme.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They were the leading defensive team in the country, but that was only because they held it. And
Yeah.
if they had shot it, they wouldn't have been the leading team in the country. But and that's where Dave Samuels got hurt. What happened to him?
Hurt his thigh.
Well,
I forget if he got a knee or something, but he was in bad shape. He was in pain.
so that's how Jack Hamill was placed in the starting lineup at that point in time.
And so we open up with Wittenberg. We're ready to play. Again, they're holding the ball 2 to 3 minutes at a time. It's driving us crazy. We're down 8 at half. And then we hit and we come back out at halftime. We hit our first 4 shots, tie the game. Then we go up. And then this is like destiny, with about 6 minutes to go, we got the lead. Looks like we can win this game, right? I called Eddie Pfeiffer over and I said, we're going to hold the ball. We'll hold it for 3-4 minutes. We'll just run around and let them get a taste of what they've been giving us. So we went around, we were running around, throwing the ball for 3-4 minutes. It was driving them crazy, but we had the game won and gave them a little bit of taste of their medicine. What kind of game's that, holding the ball? That's how that type of team brought about the 24-second rule, because, you know, it takes away from the fun of the game. But fortunately, we won it. We won the game. He didn't tell us to do it. I just whispered to Eddie, I said, come on, we'll hold the ball from them, we'll run around. Let's run around. So that's what we did.
Well, this is before you had any kind of time clock, okay? So you could manage a game. And that was one part of the game that I really enjoyed. And the interesting thing about John is you could take a guy like John O'Reilly and bring him out into the back court, okay, to slow down a game. So when I was not in control of the game, believe it or not, John O'Reilly would take a big guy away from the basket, and for the time being, then I could sort of regroup. And it was a part of John's game that went unnoticed, but I certainly appreciated it. Yeah, we were, I think the second time around, when you know what to expect, you're better prepared and you can make those changes. And we were smart enough by that time to know that, hey, you can't do anything about it. You just have to take it one possession at a time. And we just hung in there, and then we were fortunate to get that little bit of a break that we needed, and got a little bit of revenge for what happened in the prior year.
Yes, now that was them. They hold the ball all the time, and the key was, I think, Dave Maloney in the start of the second half hit like 2 or 3 quick baskets, which got us back in it.
Yeah.
Because if you're down 6 to them,
If you get down 6 or 8 and the game gets on, you're in trouble.
because they're going to hold it and hold it and hold it, because there was no clock. so they could hold it. But we got back there, and then after we got back from being 6 down, we stayed even until suddenly we got a little lead, a 3-point lead and a 4-point lead. And, we were better off with them holding the ball because they would hold it so long that there wasn't. I mean, the clock was running, and when we had the ball, they were always a threat to steal it and go in and score. But if they were trying to score in a half-court set, they would hold it and hold it and hold it. They did a better job of holding it than we would. So we were
that worked to our advantage when we had the lead.
Yeah, right. So that's just ended up that way. And
yeah, they had a good player. Wasn't his name Cherry?
yeah,
Inside player?
Bob Cherry, yeah.
Yeah, he was a pretty good player.
But he was the only holdover from the year before. They weren't nearly as good that year as they were the year before.
We thought we could play a slow down game, but we were not engineered or set up. This was a team that used to put about 80 points on the board. We scored, I think it was like 43 points in that game, and that was very difficult for us to adapt on the fly, all right? But I thought that was a wonderful springboard for us, and obviously it was because we played in tough games out there and we won them all.